Greetings, historians, and welcome back to another House of Ideas historian. It has been so long, but here I am today. We finally got to see Black Widow in theaters or on Disney Plus. However, you saw it. I hope you liked it as much as I did, and I want to talk about it. So here is my quick review over the Black Widow movie and my initial thoughts from today's viewing. Now, this is going to be my spoiler-filled review, so if you have not seen the movie yet, be sure to click away and come back, because I want to talk about it. So, make sure you've seen the movie. 3, 2, 1, okay, let's get into it. Alright, here I am at the Black Widow movie. I'm so excited. We're going to be watching in Dolby. I'm going to let you guys know what I think when we're done. Alright, hey guys, I'm here with my beautiful wife Jessica. We're back in Black Widow.
Alright guys, so as you can see here, we actually got a couple cool goodies that came with the movie. First is the exclusive popcorn bin for Black Widow. We've got a great shot of Taskmaster and a great shot of Natasha Romanoff herself. Also, at the theater, they had a comic book for the prelude of the Black Widow movie, so definitely going to snatch that up and add that to my collection. We're about to watch the movie right now. I'm going to let you know what I think when it's done.
First and foremost, let's talk about Natasha herself. What a great performance yet again by Scarlett Johansson, bringing this character to life. I think it was really cool to be able to see a little bit more about Natasha's history, hearing a little bit more about how she grew up and the Red Room. What a cool thing to actually finally be able to see the Red Room in person, on screen, and what it looks like in the MCU. I was really excited to see more about Natasha's history, and I feel like this film really did a good job. I also was really excited to see just where in the timeline of the MCU does this take place, because obviously if you've seen Endgame, you know that Natasha dies throughout that film. So where does this take place? I think they did a great job of, okay, so here's the origin story, here's the history of Natasha, but also it's not too far back in the MCU. We still get to see the character progress to a point that is easily grasped for us right before Infinity War, and I think they do some good ties from her exit off screen from Civil War to where we start in Infinity War. I think they did a great job. So I'm really happy with it. Yelena has to be the best character of the show. She was, I guess we're going to call her the comic relief, but she was so badass as well. The little sister to Natasha, but she really carried the show. Me and my wife enjoyed her sarcasm, enjoyed her critique of some of the cinematic choices of the MCU. The superhero landing was really brought out, and I thought that was really cool. Also, who digs her vest with all the pockets? That was such a great, powerful scene, because we really see what a woman who has never made any choices for herself goes and does with her own choice. She finds a vest that she really likes for as many reasons as possible. I hope we see more about that vest a little bit later. But I really like this character, and I'm really excited to see what the MCU does with her, especially now knowing that there's a void in the Avengers without the Black Widow. But more on that in a little bit. Alexi's time as the glory days as the Red Guardian, I think, is one of the best parts of the movie. I was really excited for this character for a couple reasons, but I think what we got on screen was perfectly laid out. I didn't know how the Red Guardian was going to take place within the MCU, and I had a feeling he was going to be a very different character than the comics, and I think they did a great job. Now, I'll probably end up doing a full video on the Red Guardian at some point, but right now, the quick little nibbits that we need to know: Red Guardian was the Soviets' super soldier, and it looks like, based on the movie, they actually succeeded. Now, where was Alexei? And here's my big takeaway. Alexei versus Captain America. The Red Guardian throughout the film has mentioned his time fighting Captain America a couple times. Now, the big question is, when did this happen? It's well known that our Captain America, Steve Rogers, was frozen in ice at the end of World War II. I get a feel that Alexei was probably in his prime, probably around the 50s and 60s, especially maybe during the Cold War struggle. So when did the Red Guardian actually go out and fight Captain America? I think that maybe it was just a tall tale. The film does a good job of maybe seeing Alexei glorify his time and fight Captain America when he didn't really. But also, we learned in Falcon the Winter Soldier that Isaiah Bradley was a super soldier around that time, and we know from the comics that there were a couple Captain Americas in between when Cap was frozen in ice and when he came out of the ice in Avengers number 4. So maybe Alexei did fight a Captain America, it just wasn't Steve Rogers, so it just wasn't our Captain America. Will we ever know? Who knows? But it's fun to think about. So going into this movie, there's one character that you know that I was very excited about. I did an entire video all about this character when we saw him for the trailers for the first time. And it's been stated many times on my channel how much I love the Taskmaster. Obviously, going into this movie, I knew that the history of the Taskmaster is probably going to be changed for the narrative of the film. And it was. I understand the creative differences that they had to make the Taskmaster fit into this film, and I think they did a good job staying true to his or, as we now know, her skill set. But I'm just not super sold on the Taskmaster from the MCU. It was an emotional reveal. It tied the villain and the hero together in a unique connection. But, I mean, maybe call me biased, I wanted the Taskmaster that I've read for a long time, and I don't see any future for this character in the MCU. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the MCU will have other plans for this character, but right now it feels like this was a one-and-done MCU villain that just did not pan out. You can't win them all. The part that I am most excited about has to be the post-credit scene. Now, if you haven't seen the movie yet and you made it this far, there is a post-credit scene for this movie. It is, in fact, a movie of the MCU, so you should have expected that. What I am really excited is what it's setting up and the precedent that has already been set. So the post-credit scene is Valentina Fontaine. If you recognize her, you probably watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier because she was in that show as well as here. What I'm really excited about is what they're building towards and some symmetry that we've already seen within the MCU. Valentina Fontaine is another character we can talk ages about from who she is in the comics. But who she is in the MCU right now, I think, is a little bit more important. She's clearly with some organization that is yet to be revealed that is collecting super people. In Falcon the Winter Soldier, we saw that she's talking with John Walker as he's taking up the US agent persona. Now she's talking to Yelena, who we know from the comics is the Black Widow 2, or the second Black Widow. Especially with Natasha being dead, there's a void in who is the Black Widow. Yelena is a perfect character to pick up that torch. But she's not shacking up with the Avengers, at least not yet. Right now it looks like she's going with Val Fontaine. I think Val is going to be forming a new superhero team, but this time with fringe characters. John Walker, Yelena already signed up. More to come. We could speculate all we want, but it feels like she's building maybe the MCU's iteration of the Dark Avengers. If you've watched my channel before, you know that I love the Dark Avengers, so I'm all about that. I'm also loving the cinematography symmetry that we've already seen in the MCU. All the way back in 2008, Iron Man hit the screens, and as everyone's leaving the theaters, we see a very familiar face, especially known to us now, Nick Fury, talking to Tony Stark about the Avengers Initiative. From there, we see Nick Fury or Coulson talking about the Avengers Initiative to other characters, and it was clear that they were building a team that later became the Avengers. Right now, it kind of feels like they're redoing this now with the fringe characters, building either the Dark Avengers, the Thunderbolts, whoever it may be, but building a new team. And I love that symmetry that we're seeing, because this is where we started, here we are over a decade later, and this is where we are going forward. I'm really excited to see what it is. Long story short, I really enjoyed the movie. What did you think? What was your favorite part? Who's your favorite characters? Let me know what you want to know. Maybe more about the characters, more about the story, or just comics in general. I'm not able to make videos as often as I used to, but I still love doing this, so let me know what you think in the comments down below. As always, thank you guys very much for watching. Like, share, all that jazz. Excelsior, true believers. Till next time.